Draymond said he want all this money, X.
That's what I would say too if I was Draymond Green. Sad news is not gonna happen.
He said he trying to get the whole bag. Pay me like the rest of the top. Pay me like the greats.
Yeah. I'm sorry. That's not how contracts work, bro. That's not how. I mean, you gotta understand how the salary cap work, right?
Right.
Steph won't get the bag. Steph won't get the max, right? That's all you got. That's it. Everybody else get what's left, bro. Say it, man.
Episode 25, man. Who you got?
Oh, Big Shot Bob.
That's what you going with?
I mean, I can go Richard Sherman too.
Okay, I like both of those.
I'm pretty sure G Money will appreciate the Richard Sherman.
Yeah. We go with that. I got both of those.
Cool.
Man, shout out to Appliance Medic sponsoring the episode. As always, got your HVAC issues. You need to get your AC in check and all this stuff. Heating and cooling is gonna be coming up. Football season's coming up soon, so want to get that in check as well. Download the app, Appliance Medic, iPhone, Android. Get it today.
Absolutely.
Phase Consulting Partners. You have a business of any size. They can help you with your portfolio management, training, learning development, and all that stuff. Also find them on iPhone and Android as well. So, man, getting back to this Draymond Green thing, man. I knew of all people, man, I knew you would be the most excited to talk about this contract.
Oh yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's cue it up though. So like right now today, Draymond has a 99, let's say $100 million contract. It's 99 million. He's in the third year of that. Next year he would be due 25 million. It looks like Draymond's 32 right now.
Right.
So, but you know, it's an interesting spot right now for Draymond, right? Because his value, as far as the Golden State Warriors go, is really high. His value is high for Golden State. Anywhere else, it doesn't hold that same value.
I wouldn't say it's high for Golden State though, right?
The record is proven out with that. When he go back and look at their record and how they performed when everybody else was there and he was not there. If you go back and look at the record, it wasn't that good. They were terrible on defense.
Yeah, like I can concede that his style of play fits what they do in Golden State very well.
Absolutely.
Right. And this is where we talk about am I worth max contract, right? Because if he goes anywhere else, he's an average player.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, he's sort of average in Golden State. He's just picked up by Steph and Clay's ability to shoot and what he does for them.
Right.
Offensively, as far as getting the ball to them where they need to be effective.
Yeah.
Right. And then defensively, he can help them with the small lineup and play the big guy.
Yeah. Now, here's going to be the issue next year. If they don't make him happy, or if they can't meet halfway and kind of make him happy, he is the disruptor for better or for worse in that locker room and in the court. Now, especially in that locker room, if he doesn't get his bag, now they have to take care of Andrew Wiggins, right? He's the only unrestricted free agent right now.
Right.
They have to take care of Andrew Wiggins. That is a priority. We saw that last year, how critical it was to have him on the court and have him, playing well in that system. They got to take care of Wiggins.
What about the big man out of Memphis? When is his contract expiration? What's that? How long he been in the league? 2 years?
Yeah, he's fine.
He got another year on his contract.
Yeah, not to worry about him. Wiggins is the guy. Like Wiggins, they got to take care of Wiggins. Now Draymond doesn't see it that way. That, well, I understand y'all got to take care of Wiggins, but you got to take care of me too. Look forward to those disruptions in that locker room. I can promise you that.
So this is where Steph Curry has to be the leader of that team, right?
We both.
I understand.
He's not that guy.
Yeah. I understand, but you gotta. Somebody needs to get in Draymond's ear and like be realistic with the guy, man. Like, hey, look, bro. Let's be honest about this thing. First of all, we don't want our business in the street, right? That ain't gonna help you. That ain't gonna help us. It ain't gonna help nobody, right? That's not gonna work. So let's not do that, right? Please, please, let's not do that, right? We don't want to be a distraction trying to repeat, right? Second of all, you're not a max guy. Like, we can talk about this in private, right? I'm not gonna say this publicly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna support you publicly, right? I just ask you don't put us in a situation where we have to pick a side, right?
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, man, we want you back for sure, right? We done did this thing for this long, right? We want to keep it going.
Yep.
But realistically, we can sit down and do the math, bro. You already got a max contract. I'm speaking as Steph Curry right now. I already got a max contract, right? We got these other guys to pay, right? And we can't afford to keep the depth in our bench, right? If you get a max contract, right? Because we already seen how the formula works when it comes to these max contracts. You got 3 guys, 2 guys, 2.5 guys on max contract, right? You ain't got much talent on the bench.
Right.
So do you want to win or you want to get paid?
Everything you said is 110% correct. The problem is the guy that would be the person to say that to them is not going to be there next year. Andre Iguodala. He's not going to be there, right? They need to bring in the next version of a Udonis Haslem, Andre Iguodala, because when I look up and down that roster right now, everything that you said, which is 110% correct, there's not a person on that roster that's going to say that to them in the fashion that you just said it.
Well, Steph can't be that guy?
Not going to say that. Not going to be that guy.
I mean, you ain't got to say it publicly, but you can.
No, I'm just saying publicly.
Go out to the beach and talk about this, man.
So Steph Curry has been the guy. Like, how you do anything is how you do everything, right? Steph Curry has been that guy. He stays out of those situations. He was not vocal. He loved Mark Jackson. You never heard a peep out of the conversation about Mark Jackson out of Steph Curry. You never heard. You don't hear anything from him.
Right. I just feel like publicly, right, you're gonna say all the right things. But the conversation I just laid out is one you would have private, right?
Agree.
That's how you need to put in the street. So if it happens, we'll never know about it, or we shouldn't know about it.
If you was on that roster, X, if you was on that roster, I would have confidence that conversation would take place. Steph Curry's not having that conversation. That's the kind that I'm just saying. If you was there, I know you would say that.
Right.
He's not saying that.
I got you. I mean, well, somebody gotta say it.
I mean, it's gonna be, you know,
maybe
we're gonna watch it play out.
Maybe Draymond to come on the pod, man. Hey Draymond, you invited, bro.
That'd be great.
Use your invite, man. You know what? I'm gonna hit you up on the gram, bro.
I got a feeling you and him will bump heads though.
Huh?
I got a feeling with you and him will bump heads really hard though.
You're probably right, but guess what? That makes for good podcast, right? Makes for a good conversation. Hey man, we ain't always gonna agree on everything. That's
right.
How life work, but we can respectfully disagree. We can agree, disagree, and do it respectfully. That's all it takes.
Hey, here's a moral story though, with this Draymond Green situation. It's always been a lesson I've always taught myself in life. You never get paid what you're truly worth, ever. You get paid what you ask for. So if they gave him the money, there will be people like me and you to say he's not worth the money, right? And we could be right, but he got what he asked for.
I guess.
Closed mouth don't get fed. If you don't ask for the money and go ask for what you want to get,
right,
you don't get it. So
I respect that.
I respect the man for at least saying, as laughable as it is, we can sit here and laugh about it.
Show me the money.
Ask for max contract. I just don't, Hey. When I first read the headline I read the headline before I heard anything live about it, I just busted out laughing, man. Like, just by myself, just busted out laughing. I was like, man, this dude.
Like I said, man, Draymond's good for content, bro.
Yeah. Oh,
that dude is great for content. So this is one of those. I'm gonna put this out here for content.
Roll with contracts. Actually, before we get into that, so man, I had a take with you earlier this week, and got an argument in our fans pub group as well. I said, and I still stand by it, the Nets as is. And what I mean by as is, the collection of supporting cast that they have, Ben Simmons, Kyrie, and KD, at that roster as is good enough that I would put money behind it that they would make it to the finals. And I stand behind that.
I mean, okay, sure. And we talked, like I said, like you said, we did talk about this earlier in the week, right?
Yeah.
On paper, they look great, right? But you got to look at the chemistry problems they're gonna have, the distractions they're gonna have when it comes to the media talking about y'all still want to be traded, y'all still want out, right? First time Kyrie take a vacation in the middle of the season, right? Because that's gonna happen, right?
Sound like Stephen A.
First time KD feel like, you know what, I don't feel like playing today, man. It's a back to back. I'm not playing tonight, right? You're gonna have these things, and they're gonna be like, and this whole trade situation is gonna be in the news until what's that, training day? I mean, the trade deadline.
Yep.
Right. So that's gonna be a thing until January, February, All-Star break, right?
Yep.
So what are we doing right now? Kyrie already put it out there in the streets to some folks. I'm trying to get to LA. Like, he's made that public.
Yep.
AD asked for trade. That's public. Can't walk that back.
No.
Ben Simmons we still don't know if he's playing or not. Right? Mental health, back, whatever. Like, yeah, man. I mean, it will be great to see everything clicking the way it was supposed to when they made this roster.
Yeah.
But I don't see it happening. Like, I just don't see them coming together and giving it a run.
And aside from me being right or wrong about that, like I care less about being right, right? Like, I feel confident about it.
Mm-hmm.
Put money behind it. Obviously, I want to be right, but just as a fan, I would want that to work out that way. As far as them staying together, at least to kind of balance out the powers in the East versus the West. Like, if they,
yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
I would love to see it just from a fan perspective. I just want to see, quality. I just want to see them at 100%.
Yeah, we agree that 100%.
Give it a run, man. Let me look at it.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. Like, if I'm right, if you said chemistry issues, I want to see that play out. Like, we could be right or we could be wrong. Like, that's irrelevant. But what I want to see, and what we're both saying is, I want to see good basketball, man. I just want to see everything balanced out. I don't want to see the West out here. I don't want to have to. We talk about this all the time. We getting older, you know what I'm saying? We got kids and all that stuff, dogs to take care of, and I don't want to have to spend my nights waiting to watch a West game, and bypassing the whole East game. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to see some good basketball both games.
Yeah, because when you stay up that late, especially if it's on TNT, you gotta watch Chuck and Shaq.
Yeah.
So now your night comes. Your night ain't until 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, man. I can't do it. I'll be trying to go to bed at halftime, bro. I can't do it.
We done spent many nights out here on the patio or something watching the game, and by third quarter, both of us yawning, talking about,
yeah, buddy.
Oh, let's go get to the house.
Watch the rest of this one in the bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Set the timer and everything. Man.
It's rough, man. But
that's what happens. You know what they say, man. Adulting sucks sometimes.
Have you heard any other? Like, I know all of the stuff out there. I'm hearing the speculation and good material for Stephen A's show and Fox Sports and all that. Have you heard anything else? Like, as far as where they're possibly going to go? Kyrie, KD, anybody?
Nope. Last thing I heard, obviously Kyrie wants to go to LA. That's the only destination. Only thing he wants to do. And then KD just want to go to contender. So that's all I heard. I think everything kind of plays out, or everything is still in flux because there are real free agents out there making moves. So once they settle down and wherever they want to be, and then like KD can look at a full roster and like, all right, y'all can join it.
Right.
But outside of that, like Miami ain't partnering with Jimmy Butler, right? The Nets ain't letting KD go to Miami without something with Jimmy Butler in it. Mm-hmm. So I mean, Boston, the same thing, right? You got to give up one of their stars to get a star. Do you really want to give up a young star for an old star? Like, that wouldn't even be smart long term.
Yeah.
So, and you know, your boy was just kind of his feelings about that. I get it.
We ain't talking
about Jaylen Brown. At the end of the day, man, what you have to understand when you are an asset, right? Mm-hmm. But you are in this league, you're an asset. You can be traded any day.
Right.
Right. They don't owe you anything. They done made a contract. You done signed the contract, and you got to fulfill that contract. Whether you fulfill it here, you fulfill it somewhere else.
Yo,
contract, right?
Shaq was eating cereal with his kids when he found out he got traded from the Lakers to Miami.
Right. But that's what I'm saying, right?
Let that sink in.
At the end of the day, man, it's a business. And the franchise is going to do what they think is best for the franchise. Not necessarily what's best for you. There's no loyalty on either side.
And you know what? So the NFL doesn't really do this, but the NBA does. Is, man, they'll put that thing out in the street. The ink won't even dry on the paper yet. The phone call won't even be done yet.
I was click over.
Some beat writer insider put that thing out there on social media, and next thing you know, Jaylen Brown situation. Speaking of Jaylen Brown, if you're Jaylen Brown and you get news of that going across, and Stephen A up there yelling and spitting all over the screen and the camera, talking about the speculation of him getting traded, man. What's your what's the feeling behind it? Like, I don't know what that, obviously we don't know what that feels like. I would want to know, like, the reaction. Like, if I'm a family member or a friend sitting beside him, like, what's that reaction?
I mean, with anything, you're going to have that moment of shock, disappointment, all that, right? Because you're human. You're supposed to have some kind of emotion. And that's what's going to be the emotion. You're going to be shocked, first of all, because nobody probably told you, prepared you for that. No. You're going to be disappointed because you gave Boston your all. And at the end of the day, you was probably their best player towards the end of the playoffs. Right. You throw that in there, right? And you'd be like, well, what else I got to do?
Right.
But like I said, the truth of the matter is once the shock is gone and you settle down, right, you start to think about it and from a rational place. It's a business, right? This is what it is.
So what's the temperature like when you go back in the locker room when that deal fell through and it didn't work out?
By then you should be over it, but you ain't forgot about it. Ooh. You can forgive, right, and move on, but you ain't gonna forget.
X, this is where you tap into my personality, bro. Like, if I cross me like that, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for me to go back in there when I feel like I'm not wanted, and I got to go back into that.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then, I mean, it's twofold, right? Because you already know what it is. Like I said, you don't forget. Mm-hmm. Right. So now you coming in with okay, I try to get rid of me. Okay.
Yeah. Let me show y'all something.
Yeah, watch me work.
Right. Yeah. Then there's also that. Yeah.
Y'all think he better than me?
Right.
I mean, you're talking about Shaq and Kobe all over again, right?
Right. Yeah.
Kobe was the little brother for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yeah, this is my team.
Right.
Right. And now y'all choose.
Hey, man. Sticking with basketball, Zion's contract. You know a little bit more about this than I do. I think they put like some kind of weight clause in his contract.
Yeah, I think they want him to stay under 25, something like that. Like it's got to do with his total weight and then body mass index, all that stuff. Right.
So I'm curious, they never did that to Charles Barkley?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I was just curious about it. Obviously, we didn't have social media then, but I was thinking about that because, like, me and Tara was talking about Kyler Murray's contract. I know we're going to do that in a second, but I was like, the only reason why we know about this stuff today is because social media. You got all these insiders and stuff thrown around. I can't with confidence sit here and tell you that these clauses didn't already exist in the past. It's just that we didn't hear about them.
You're right, and the reason behind that may be because how do you enforce it? I mean, you can weigh him in on a regular basis, but what happens if he's not underweight? Like, do you void the contract? Like, what's the motivation to keep him in compliance? Right? Is he getting paid some kind of incentive for doing it? Right? Like, what's the pros and cons to it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah,
Like an extra
I
couple
got to do
dollars
some
might.
research on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, and it's always about the headline when this stuff comes out, but the devil's in the details, man. Like, how's it going to be enforced? B, what's the incentive for doing it? C, what's the penalty for not doing it? Right? Like,
Mhm.
these things need to be answered before
Well,
you can even form an opinion on
I think I may have your answer.
the purpose.
It says Williamson's contract features a clause that states that he will have weigh-ins throughout his deal,
Mm-hmm.
measure his combined weight and body fat percentage to ensure it doesn't exceed a total of 295 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
It does. Guaranteed money in Williamson's extension, which kicks in at the start of 23-24 season, can be reduced. So that's how they're going to do it.
Oh, so only got to do this for a year.
Uh,
This is the 22-23 season, right? So if I get through this season without going over 295, my money kicks in at that point.
correct.
So I'm good, right? I can go play at 300 now, right?
Yes, I guess is what they saying. It just means that he won't be getting another contract with the Pelicans.
I don't mean he won't get another contract. And I think at 230 guaranteed, I'm cool either way.
So this opens up a conversation I want to have with you. What's your like? I know I when I watched him in high school, obviously he was playing with. I don't know if you watched many of them YouTube videos, man. It was
Yeah, he was playing with the brothers, the little brothers.
yeah, he was playing with them. But then obviously he played at Duke and he ran the gamut in college football, college basketball. Like I looked at his game, I didn't look at him the same way I looked at LeBron. Obviously, I mean he
Mm-hmm.
was dominant. You know what I'm saying? But I just didn't look at him like I looked at LeBron. What's your outlook on him? Like just his overall game.
So he's a freak of nature. He's extremely athletic, right? That's a gift of his, and it also could be his downfall, right?
Yeah.
It's the way that the explosion he plays with is a lot of wear and tear on his knee.
Mm. Hmm.
He has to be like, if I was him, if I was in his circle, I'm talking to him, trying to give him some advice, right? The blueprint is out, right? Right now, the blueprint is in LA. I'm calling my man up. Hey, Brian. No, I don't want to come work out with you, man. I just want to know what your what your body regimen is, right?
Hmm.
I need to know like how many hours you do this, how many hours you do that,
Yep.
where the machines are, how you move them around, like how you get like stay in your room from what I understand when you travel. Like I need to know.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'll put you on the phone with my guy, or just have your guy call my guy.
Right.
They can work that out. I need to be on the same plan that you want to take care of my body.
Yeah. And LeBron would do that.
I got me a chef, you know what I'm saying? So hey, chefs can talk, the trainers can talk, and they can do logistics, and then we can make that happen.
Yeah.
You said how much it costs? 2.5? Got it. Got that.
Yeah.
Got that.
And that,
2.5
it's
annual.
simple as that. What you
Oh,
just said solves all that. It's simple as that. Now, the hard part is, I would say, let me speak for myself. The hard part is, I like food. And my man in New Orleans, my man down there with them gumbo, Creole, uh, what's the sandwiches? Po' boys, all
mm-hmm,
that.
mm-hmm. Hey, I'm with you on all that, man, and
Yeah,
I fully understand. That's why you got a chef, though.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Chef gonna give you your portion size, and that's gonna be that.
That's it.
All right, you can eat what you want in these portions.
Right.
Now, what me and you like to do, like we're gonna eat what we want in these portions, and we're gonna get some more out the oven that's in the kitchen.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you still work. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's a dicey situation for me with him. Like he's like you said, he's super athletic, super gifted, freak of nature, really strong, which I think the strength is his like really, really highest quality gift that he has. But man, when I think about the needs, and all he has to do is just look at these guys, like look at Charles Barkley, look at these guys that carry a lot of weight throughout their career. Like look at them today. If you just fast forward to that, forget the basketball, think about the health side of it. Like man, like just and like, I wish X that all I could do is wake up and I get paid to go train and get my body right, get my game right, and all I have to do is focus on that. And like everything else, as far as family life and everything else, I have resources that takes care of that. Like today, I got to be present. I got to take care of that. But
Mm-hmm.
all I have to do is get up, and I got the resources to take care of that for me. Stuff around the house and all that. And all I got to do is just focus on my diet, my basketball game, and all that. Come on, man. Like,
So right, and when you look at it like that, you got this. I mean, you really got to think about it, right? What we do in the military, we got a reverse timeline, right? So we 24 hours in a day,
yep.
right? How many hours in a day are you going to train? 3 max,
Mm,
4,
mm,
right? We talking gym, we talking some kind of cardio, right? And then you might go get some shots up, practice some moves, right?
mm-hmm.
You do that. The average person works 8 hours a day, right?
Yep.
So you looking, if you do that, if you do those 3 things, even if you did 2 hours a piece at all 3 of them,
Mm-hmm.
2 hours in the gym, 2 hours on some kind of cardio, right? So
Yep.
you probably could, that ain't even gonna be 2 hours because nobody does cardio for 2 hours,
Right.
right? And then you go work on some shot, get some shots up in the gym for 2 hours,
Yeah.
right? Literally, your workout is anywhere from, I'm gonna say 3 to 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
Then you got the rest of the day to do whatever you want.
What you got to do?
You can be present with the kids. You can hang out with the wife. Like
Just
you
stay
can
out
go
the
see your
kitchen. That's all we
friends.
asking. Stay out the kitchen.
Do it all.
Yeah.
Right. And even with that, right? Your chef, when you wake up in the morning, you got your chef got breakfast,
Yep.
right? And that's supposed to be your fuel to get through your workout,
Mm-hmm.
right? After your workout, you got lunch,
Yep.
right? And that's supposed to be your recovery meal, right? So neither one of those is gonna be really heavy, right? So you shouldn't be gaining too much weight there. Now, when it comes to dinner with the family, that's when you're gonna eat,
Mm.
right? That's all I'm saying, man. Like you got to be smart about it, and it's been done, so can't say it ain't never been done before.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The blueprint is still out there getting it done.
Real quick, just got a notification, man. Sad news. Bill Russell just died, 88 years old. So condolences to his family and everyone close to him. So yeah, it's a legend, man.
Rest well, man. Rest well.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Sorry, I had to sidebar on that one, man. I didn't want to let the moment pass by on that one.
No doubt.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we good on Zion, man. I think but that's even with knowing the ramifications of this and kind of the criteria, it's I still want to follow it. I still want to understand kind of how, and I want to see the dramatic. I hope, for basketball's sake, as a fan, I hope he comes in with the lean, mean physique, and he has a long term career and all that. I want to see it because obviously, again, we about to lose LeBron. This would make me feel like I'm old X because what I'm saying. I've been through the Mike career, Dominique Wilkins, the Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas. Uh, Kobe came in. I remember following him in high school, and then LeBron came in. I remember following him through high school. He on the back end of his career. Man, who's next?
Well, I mean, Zion Chef said Zion's gonna be the face of the league in a while, in a
I
minute.
hope. I hope. I hope.
I mean, like, I'm probably gonna be I'm gonna be realistic with you. I feel like the face of the league is gonna be an international player.
Yeah, Luca.
It's about that time. All right, you got Luca, you got Giannis, you got these dudes kind of in their prime. I mean, Luca's still young,
Yeah,
right? And so he's doing his thing. Giannis is in his prime, but he's probably, I mean, he's in the middle of it, no matter what, right? So them guys are gonna be
the marquee players going forward.
Yeah.
At least for a little while. I don't really foresee another like LeBron type talent right now out there. Like I don't see a generational talent out there right now.
You don't see Bronny coming?
Nah, and they say Bronny's brother
Ooh.
is better than him.
I just
and
told
taller.
my ex, I just told my dad this, man. He's 6'6".
Yeah, he's better and taller.
And I watched him the other day. I was telling my dad was like, nah, you gotta be. I said, Dad, trust me, man. I said, look, he legit.
One of them gonna make it.
Yeah, he legit.
One of them gonna make it. Well, I mean, they both probably gonna make it just because of who their dad is.
Yeah.
How that works out. But
now I've seen Bronny play. Don't get me wrong. Like on his team, I think at one point he's like third or fourth option on that team. He
I like Bronny's game. Honestly, is just like his dad.
It is.
But the difference is he ain't as dominant as his dad.
Nah.
Right. His dad was that guy, and he had the ball.
100%.
Bronny ain't that guy, but he's efficient with the ball. So
100%. Speaking of contracts, man, Kyler Murray. So he got the bag. He won. He asked for the money. Sticking with the thing what I've been saying. You get what you asked for. A lot of people disagree with it. Now, this goes back to I follow Michael Lombardi. Michael Lombardi is not related to Coach Lombardi, the legend in Green Bay, but he works with a show called VSiN. He used to be Bill Belichick's right-hand man in the early stages of like the first part of Tom Brady's career. He watched all that. And I listened to the show, and he's got all these inside sources, as you can imagine. And he was saying this all along, just that everything that came out about Kyler Murray and like stuff he wasn't like not paying attention to the playbook and not watching film and spending a lot of time playing video games and stuff like that. He was saying that then. So when this came out with the clause, he's got a clause in his contract as well. Well, they removed some of it now due to public pressure. It wasn't new to me. I had already been hearing this. It just now it was confirmed. So I wasn't surprised when I heard about the clause in his contract, and supposedly he's got a deal with some company where he plays Fortnite online, and he gets paid for that. And so I mean, listen, that's a part of his money, right? But they put the clause in there. They put two of them in there. One was about the video games, and the other one is because he's a really good baseball player. If he decides to pack it up and go play baseball, they take some of that guaranteed money as well too.
Right. I mean, I understand all this, man. You got to protect yourself. I get it the best way you can.
Yeah.
But some stuff, like I said, man, how do you enforce this stuff? Right. Like, so when it comes to him studying, like, how do you know if he's studying that? Are you sending somebody in his house? Are you monitoring his internet access? Like, how do you monitor the dude is reading the book or not?
Yeah, the studying one, like I feel like you can monitor the weight thing. I got that, but the studying piece, you're right. I don't know how you can stay on top of that. Now, people like Tom Brady, when they tell all these legendary stories about him staying in the locker room and after games, definitely the games he lost, and you always saw him in the building, first one to get there, last one to leave. You saw all these stories. I guess you could kind of witness that, but as far as monitoring and like clocking in, all right, Kyler spent about this like 4 hours a day watching film. Unless here's the thing, unless they assign somebody to him. That's
right. Like you would have to keep him in the building, like you said, like, hey man, we need to get this hour in, or before practice, hour after practice, however you want to do it.
Yep.
But then you got to have somebody in the room to make sure he ain't on his phone or doing some other stuff, right? And actually watching the film. And again, man, here's the thing people don't understand about the brain, right? You could be in a room, right? And supposed to be studying. I mean, you could be looking through the pages. You could really be reading the information. But are you keep taking in what it is you read? Is your mind not wandering, thinking about, man, I got 15 minutes. When I get up out of here, man, I'm gonna hit that breakfast spot on the way home.
Yep.
Right? Or let me I'm gonna make sure I hit up old girl before see what we got planned for tonight, right?
Yep.
There's so many things that's going on in your brain where you're not focused on that.
Yep.
Unless you're unless you're really into that. So
Yeah.
when you force somebody to say, "Hey man, we're gonna be in this room for an hour before practice, an hour after practice,"
Yep.
right? Sure, okay, fine, we gonna be there, but I ain't really gonna be there. I'm there physically, but I ain't there mentally.
So,
right? So how does that benefit anybody?
I'm with you, but putting my owner's hat on. This is why I always say, and I don't think it's even a debate for this. This position we're talking about, the quarterback position in the NFL, is the most important and critical position of all sports. I don't care what sport it is. It is the most important because you got the owner, you got the manager, you got the front office, you got the head coach. But that quarterback represents the brand, and you're basically the CEO of that franchise. And that's the reason why when you hear all these stories, these legendary stories about these questions that have been leaked about the things that they ask quarterbacks and digging into their background during the combine process, it's so vital, right? So it is going to be the most scrutinized and completely outlandish. So like, there's the side of it where I think like a normal person, just as a fan, right? I do think like that, but then I also step over. Okay, if I'm an owner, how am I thinking? Like, I just spent all this money. Like, for us, it's just ink on a sheet of paper.
Right.
But for them, this is literally coming out of an account somewhere. Right. And when you got situations like that where you got a guy that you don't feel like is committed to winning, doing everything they possibly can to win games, and he's already at a physical deficit anyway, right? Man is 5'8", 9, 10. And I mean, you got the first, and the record speaks for itself. You look at the second, me and Greg was actually talking about this the other day. Look at the second half of his season record since he's been in the league. It's 7 and something. Like, man, you got more games now. You got more opportunities to get hit. And by the time the second half of the season comes, he wore down.
Right.
But
here's another perspective I want to give to you, right? And I just came to me while we were talking about it.
Yeah.
Greatness is either in you or it's not, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of, say, a study clause in Tom Brady's contract?
Never.
Aaron Rodgers?
Never.
Brett Favre?
Never.
Right? Just throwing some quarterback names out there.
Yeah.
Right. And now Brett Favre's case, he was the ultimate wild card on the field.
Yep.
That was how he played. Improvising was his thing.
Admitted he didn't know what a cover 2 was.
Admitted it. Right. There's takes on this on NFL Sounds, right? Yeah. What's this? Right. With that being said, right, everybody plays the position differently. Yeah. And what the front office and the GMs, right, with this clause, right, are trying to do is put this dude in a box. Right. This is how you play this position. That might not be whatever he's done up to this point, that might not be it.
Yep.
Right. And when you think about it from that perspective, we get into, dare I say, the racial component behind it all.
Could be.
Right. African-American quarterback, quote unquote, not the smartest, right, to play the position, blah, 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 blah. Right. So is this part of that, right? Is that a part of the motivation for even putting this clause in the contract and then it getting out into the public?
Yeah. So I don't like the anonymous sources thing, but there was also sources that came out of the locker room that he wasn't a good teammate. So when you get a lot of stuff like that, it doesn't help the cause for you not to have that in the contract. Now, circling back to what you just said, X, the race component. We didn't have this on the docket today, but I am going to introduce this exhibit into you. Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson today, and I'm gonna publicly say this, I'm gonna say it, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Lamar Jackson is not getting paid because of how he talks, the way he looks, and his style of play.
Yeah. So when you talk about like Lamar's situation, Lamar called up Kyler Murray and said, "Thanks, brother. Appreciate you." Because I see what you got. Right. I see how long you've been in the league.
Look at my resume.
And I see your resume. Right. And I see my resume. Right. I'm looking at, man, I don't have the both of them in front of me. I'm going off memory here.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
How many times how many times has Baltimore been to the playoffs?
Yep.
Right. How many times has Arizona been to the playoffs with Kyler Murray at quarterback
Yep.
and Lamar Jackson at quarterback? All right. How many MVPs we got over here in Arizona?
Right.
How many we got in Baltimore? Okay. Well, I'm 2-0 over here, right? If you got 230,
yep,
I should be getting 300.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
I just what did I just say about that position? I said he or is the CEO and the face of that franchise. Are they more comfortable with that CEO looking like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, or Lamar Jackson?
Hey man, when it comes and here's the thing about Lamar Jackson being his own agent. Now I understand you want to be the best, be a good teammate. I understand you love playing the game. I understand all of this stuff, right? And I understand how you say it, right? You don't want to be a distraction. You don't want to be that guy.
Right.
However, in this case, right? As a quarterback, an athletic quarterback in this league, and you are in the contract negotiations where the team doesn't have any, like they don't feel any pressure to do anything. Right. Because you're still coming to practice, you're still showing up and playing and participating, doing all these things. Right. So there's no real, let's get this done today. Right. There's no fire in the seat of the GM to sign, get some stuff on paper.
Yeah.
Right. But I promise you, the minute Lamar Jackson say, hey, you know what? We've been talking about this for what, a year now, man. And I see all these contracts being signed elsewhere. I think I'm gonna take a little vacation.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let y'all think about it for a little bit, man. I'm gonna go work out somewhere else. Right. Now, I'm not gonna play much in the off season. I'm not playing in the preseason anyway because I'm number one. I'm QB1, so I don't get a lot of burn there anyway. Yep. So I don't really need to, right? What Lamar could do to avoid the whole distraction piece and do all these things and also have your teammates lobby for you, right? Call a team meeting, players only.
Yep.
Hey man, I you know what, guys, this is what's going on. Contract negotiations is doing this and all that, and we had a stalemate, blah, 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 blah. This is how I feel. Right. And this is what I'm thinking about doing. And I want you guys to understand that it's nothing personal, nothing against you guys. I love you guys. I want to play. I want to be here. I want to do all these things. However, in order for me to do what's best for my family, I got to take time off.
Yeah.
I need time off. I'm with you. I'm still going to be studying. I'm still going to be doing all these things that I need to do to make sure that if I do come back or when I come back, I'm in the best position to help and be an asset. But the business side things right now, I'm gonna have to step off. I'm gonna step away.
Yeah.
Lamar should truly, honestly be holding out right now.
Because the ACL tear would be the nightmare scenario right now.
That because the minute he gets hurt, it's a wrap.
Yeah. And if I'm Harbaugh, which I think Harbaugh is this type of coach that I'm about to say, I guarantee you behind closed doors, I'm pretty sure he's going up there saying, guys, what are we waiting on? I'm sure.
Yeah, like you're trying to put the pressure as best you can, but like I said, Lamar is not helping himself. He's not applying any pressure himself,
right?
By still being a great guy, right? Sometimes to get things done, you can't be a great guy.
You gotta take a stand. You're right.
Yeah, you gotta stand for something. And at this, I mean, again, when you leave that conversation with the player, I call this meeting to let you guys know what's going on before it gets to the media and it gets out in public. So you're not blindsided by it because they're going to be asking you questions and I'm trying to help you in the best way I can.
Yep.
When you get the questions, how do you feel about Lamar Jackson holding out, blah, 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 your response should be, it's a business.
Yeah.
And right now, he's taking care of his business. Point blank period.
I don't know, man. It's interesting just to see how this is gonna play out, because again, I'm pretty sure he like, man, little man over here and got paid.
He the only one that ain't got no contract. Aaron Rodgers got a hell of a contract.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Kyler Murray got a hell of a contract.
But it goes back to what you just said.
Hey, Pat Mahomes got a hell of a contract.
Yeah.
You know why Aaron Rodgers got that contract? Because he didn't show up for
right. Right.
Right. He was really serious about getting up out of here.
Yeah.
Or at least he played it that way.
And they saw that backup. They said, nah, we not ready to move on yet.
And that's what you have to show them. Hey man, you don't want to pay me. Why? Because you think, how would you feel if I wasn't here?
Yeah.
Right? How does that affect your bottom line if I'm not here?
Right. Yeah.
Right. How many fans are coming to training camp if I'm not in the building?
Not happening.
Right. How many fans are buying tickets if I'm not in the building?
Less cold beers, popcorn, and hot dogs.
Exactly.
Nobody's buying those.
Who's driving the bus if I'm not?
Right.
You feel me? You
right.
see what I'm saying? Just saying, man, hey, we can do this the easy way. We can do it the hard way. Right. At what point do I need to help you help yourself?
Yeah, I'm monitoring that one too, man. I gotta see. They gotta do right by my man. You know what I'm saying?
That part.
So
that part.
All right, man.
They're not gonna do right. Like I said, man, there's no incentive to do right when you're always gonna do right. When you're the guy doing right.
Right.
They're not losing anything.
Yeah, I'm with you.
The minute you snatch away what they're losing or show them what they could potentially lose, then they're gonna pony up.
So college football realignment, man. I don't know how much you've been following, but so like right now, where we're headed is 3 conferences that I'm looking at, maybe 4, which is going to be really everybody against the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
And X, I'm gonna tell you, as all my years of sitting here following college football, I never dreamed a scenario that Texas and Oklahoma would up and leave Big 12 and go anywhere, even to go to the SEC. And now they're in the SEC. That's must-see football every single night now in the SEC. I mean, you got some bottom feeders in there, get me wrong, but you got really good teams in there now to where you can make the deal. But look, I'm looking at Texas. Before they went to the SECX, they signed a $300 million TV deal with ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
So now that increases even greater now, because now in the SEC they have their own network, which is competitive with most sports pro sports teams.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this is about to get crazy. Ohio State's going to still remain king in the Big Ten, Michigan and all that. They'll attract more people in. I think USC and UCLA is talking about moving out of the Pac-12 and all that. Man, this is about to get insane. But it's all about what you say of money, though.
Yeah, so I'm trying to look at the big picture, right? Right now, we got a college football playoff with 4 teams.
Yep.
Right? And usually SEC going to have 2 teams in there, right? So you got 2 other conferences, 2 other teams vying for that.
Yep.
Right? So how do you, if you're outside of that bubble, how do you find your way in? Right? So let's say Texas adds the fact that they are now in the SEC to their recruiting pitch, right? We're going up against the best of the best, right? If we win a division, whether it's the West or the East, right, we will be in the college football playoff, because that has been the norm for the last few years now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's always been Alabama and
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Usually it's whoever comes out of the other conference in the SEC that wins.
Yep.
Georgia, right? You got Ohio State because they're Ohio State, Big Ten, right? That's just what it is, right? And then if Michigan wins that, then it's Michigan. or usually the Big Ten winner gets in.
Right.
Usually.
Yep.
Right. And lately it's been Clemson out of the ACC just because they were Clemson and they beat Alabama a couple times,
right.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Right. But now Clemson's out. So now they got to find somebody else.
Yep.
Right. And so now all these other teams, to make a long story short, these other teams, these other big name schools are trying to find their way to the big table.
Yep.
Right. Pac-12 ain't it's just not. Like never ever. You got to be too great in the Pac-12 to even be in the conversation.
Yeah.
Let's get on out of here. Right. We're too good for this conference. We need to go to be where we can be competing. We can compete. The SEC. Like the Southeastern Conference, like I'm trying to look at the makeup of that conference, and all those schools are in Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas. Am I missing anything here? I don't see any Texas schools even in there until now.
Well, Texas A&M was in there before.
Texas A&M.
They took the first leap.
Right.
Now here's what's happening though. Now that footprint of all those other teams, the existing SEC teams, that footprint of Texas has expanded now, right? Because now those other teams have an arm into that backfield of Texas. So those players now, if they decide, let me go over to Alabama instead of going to Texas now. Let me go to Texas A&M now. I'm on the same stage with them. Let me go over there, right? So now it kind of expands that out. It can work against them a little bit too. But where I don't understand how this is going to work out. Just like you said, you're only going to get 2 teams out of the SEC coming out, right? That'll be able to make it because you got the championship, you got the conference championship. So usually, if that number 2 or whoever loses in the SEC championship game, if they're really good, they have a really good season, they're likely going to go in behind the SEC champion. And you're gonna leave. You got potential to leave out some really good teams, man. You got Texas going to be in there, Oklahoma, and all that. And I do think there's going to be a time, and I hope it does happen, that they break away from the NCAA. I hope that happens.
Right. I'm gonna throw this out there. See what you think about this. What do you think about if the college football playoff stays with a 14 format? Right. You should have North, South, East, and West.
I like that. I don't have an issue with that.
Right. I mean, and then you can obviously there's some details that probably need to be worked out with that, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't have what you're not going to have is UCLA, those schools way out west,
right,
trying to join a conference on the East Coast.
Yeah.
And then you got to work out travel for these interleague games and how that's going to work. Right. That just logistically doesn't work.
Right.
Logistically. Right.
The next step is because I think the period where they negotiated, they want to expand from 4 to 8. They've already passed it. I think they've got this current deal for the next 2 or 3 years. And the next time it's up, and it was only a couple of conferences that declined it that made it still remain at 4. So I think whoever's in the room after this stuff kind of plays out, the dust settles, and they kind of see where things are headed based on the new realignment, I think we'll eventually get to at least 6, bare minimum, definitely 8.
Right.
I think 8 is the legitimate next step. Now, initially they try to go for the gusto and say 16. Now, here's the thing that they sell you on, though. They try to say, well, it's a lot of school that's going to be taken away. Like, man, did y'all not watch March Madness? These kids are never in school during March Madness.
And then you got to think about, because March Madness, to be honest with you, the first 2 weekends of March Madness are, in my opinion, unnecessary. Right? I mean, it's great for March. It's great it's great financially, man, but competition-wise, it ain't the greatest, right? You have 1 or 2 that hold their own against these big schools, but they're usually blowouts in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. So when you get to football, right? How do you, because the playoffs is supposed to be some competitive, like hard-nosed, every possession matters football.
Yep.
Right. And how did you get to that? Right. You got the first 4, and those are not even great because you're trying to put in somebody that doesn't really belong.
Right.
Right. You're trying to be all inclusive, right? So if you get to an 18 format, right, you probably could find 8 quality teams.
Yeah, I like that.
But anything outside of that,
It'll be rough.
yeah, it's gonna be just for the money at that point. It's not gonna be very competitive.
Because if you go to 8, then if we had 8 years ago, a Boise State team that was left out would have got in.
Right.
A Central Florida team that was left out would have gotten in. So those scenarios right there, that would have taken place, and then you would have had maybe an extra school from the ACC or Pac-12, Big 12, whatever. But you would have had that, and it'd have been fine. And I would sign up for that. I would watch that. Now, what they kept selling people on again is, potential injuries and the amount of football, the amount of schools that the kids would be left out of. And I'm like, you had March Madness, and don't forget baseball.
Let's be realistic, man. You guys, when it comes to, and I say you guys as far as the committee and the folks that's making these decisions, they don't really care about these kids being in school, man. That's not earning you no money. Let's be realistic, man. So let's not even throw that out there like y'all really care about these dudes' grades and how that's going to work out. So let's not, right? I understand you trying to, it's like politics, man. You just throwing out stuff that you think people want to hear, and it's kind of got a point, but you don't, because it's not really your motivation.
Yeah.
Skip all that, man. Look at here, 8 teams. Let's do that, because you could probably find 4 more quality teams to make a competitive 2 weeks of football, college football playoffs.
Yep.
And then you go from that to a 2-week delay into the championship game, right? Let's do it. I vote for 8 games. I vote for 8 teams.
You see Nick Saban, he accepted his invitation to play against against Deion Sanders. He said, I'd love for that to play out. Deion Sanders said, let's slow down. He said, we're not ready for that yet.
We're not doing sacrificial lambs up here. We're not doing it. We ain't ready yet.
We're not ready for that yet.
Yeah, let me get a couple more of these 5-star recruits, then I'll come see you. But we ain't ready yet, man. I respect Deion for that, man. That's called being realistic with your expectations, right?
100%.
Yeah, we're not about to just go up here and just get our heads beat in for a check. We're not doing it.
So I don't know when this game is going to take place. I got to look at the schedule. But whatever night Texas A&M and Alabama plays against each other, me and you got to be sitting beside each other.
Absolutely.
That game right there, because Jimbo Fisher and Saban don't like each other right now.
There'll be some fireworks for real.
Saying all the nice stuff in the media right now. So I love this guy and all this stuff. They try to patch it up. But that night,
players gonna be out there trying to take each other's heads off.
That's gonna be a monster right there.
I'm with you, man. Let's as much as I enjoy our conversation, man, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up.
Let's do it, man.
What you got, man? You want to take us home? You want me to do it?
You got it, man. You got it.
As always, man, thanks for watching us on YouTube, man. Appreciate y'all giving us a few minutes of your time. Shout outs to Appliance Medic and Face Consulting for the sponsorship. Don't forget the merch is coming soon.
Sir.
Merch is coming soon. Don't forget that, man. And keep joining the conversation via the Facebook group. Appreciate your feedback. Outside of that, until next time.
Peace.